Well, that took an hour. That was quick. Okay, this is where we left off. Now, I won't rush so much. I was trying to get this done within an hour, but I ain't going to do it. So, yeah, these are going to be a little bit long. Okay, so there's an assessed value, and I think this assessed value shows what you have in the bank and what your debts are. And they're supposed to send a notice out, but if they don't send the notice, then it doesn't really matter. You're still liable, and you still have in the bank. It sounds like that for that reason we may want to go down and find out ourselves where we stand. The city shall certify to the assessor the total amount the council determines to be raised by general taxes, all amounts of special assessments which the council assessed and reassessed upon any property or against any person, and all other amounts which the council may determine shall be charged, assessed, or reassessed against any person or property. But the city tax roll. So the assessor shall prepare a copy, therefore, to be known as the city tax roll. And upon receiving the certification of the several amounts to be raised as provided in the preceding section, the assessor shall proceed forthwith to spread upon said tax roll the several amounts determined by the council to be charged, assessed, or reassessed. So see, assessed isn't bad. Charged is bad. That's when they're charging you. But assessed sounds like they're giving you something. I'm going to go look up the word assessed, see what the hell that means. Also proceed to spread the amounts of the general tax according to and in proportion to the several valuations set forth in the said assessment roll. This assessment roll may not be all bad. What do they call this thing? The city tax roll. Excellent. Need to find the city tax roll. Okay. Person probably shall also proceed to spread. Okay. For purpose of avoiding fractions in computation, the assessor may add to the amount of the several taxes to be raised not more than 1%. Said excess shall belong to the general fund of the city. Now, such taxes shall be separately assessed and may be entered in separate columns or may be entered as one sum. All right, so they could have these all split out to show you what they are, or they can group them all together. Provided that if such taxes are entered upon one total sum, that there shall be printed upon the face of each tax bill and receipt the percentage of which such tax is of said total sum. All right, so you get a tax bill that has all your taxes on it, and we're just talking about the city taxes here. As such taxes are entered as one total sum, there shall be printed upon the face each tax bill and receipt the percentage which, okay. I don't know that they mail this thing to you. They just need to tell you that it's due. So far, I haven't seen where it says they need to mail it to you. Okay, self-certified tax roll, the mayor shall annex. So, okay, we got a tax roll now. We got to go collect this, requiring the treasurer to collect from several persons named in said roll the several sums mentioned therein opposite their respective names as a tax or assessment. Well, one's a tax, one's an assessment, a credit or a debit. Right? It's a credit or a debit. And authorizing him, in case any person named therein shall neglect or refuse to pay such sums, to levy the same by distress and sales of his or her or their goods and chattels. So if we refuse to pay, they're going to put a lien on us for whatever the tax is that we haven't seen because they never mailed it to us, but they have it on a roll. We'll get a notification. Taxes, liens on property. The city taxes thus assessed shall become at once a debt due to the city from the persons to whom they are assessed. And the amounts assessed on any interest in real property shall on the first day of July become a lien upon such real property. Just put a lien on it. And it shall continue until the payment thereof. All personal taxes shall also be first lien, prior, superior, and paramount upon all personal property of persons so assessed from or after the first day of July. So not only your real property, your personal property, they're putting a lien on it. This is where the lien is because you're a delinquent. And there's evidence in the court files or in the city clerk's files, and that's the highest form of evidence there is. It shows there is a lien. You're a delinquent peer. Said tax lien shall take precedence over all other claims, encumbrances, and liens upon said personal property whatsoever, whether created by chattel mortgage, execution, levy, judgment, or otherwise. Okay, so the things that they're coming after us for foreclosure, whenever you're getting sued, they're coming after your personal property, which is your, the account that's under your all capital letter name. Your all capital letter name is the name of your Ponderosa, right? It's your Ponderosa, it's your ranch. And these accounts are the goods and chattels on the ranch. And that's your personal property. And that's what these claims are. And said lien shall take precedence over all other claims. Encumbrances and other liens upon personal property. So if you want to make a claim on your personal property, well, you can't because there's this lien. We got to take care of the lien. Protection of city lien. The city shall have power to acquire by purchase any premise within the city at any tax or other public sale, or by direct purchase from the state of Michigan or the fee owner. So they can get it from you. They can acquire by purchase any premises within the city from the fee owner. Well, you're the fee owner. The city taxes shall be due on the first day of July. Okay? Annex to the said roll. Got to find the roll. The treasurer shall not be required to call upon persons named in the city tax roll, nor make personal demand for payment of taxes. He don't need to tell you owe the money. And he should put something in the newspaper, but failure on the part of the treasurer to give said notice shall not invalidate tax on said roll, nor release persons or property assessed from penalty provided in this chapter in case non-payment of the same. Well, what do you do? What happens if you don't pay? They put a lien on you and they make you a delinquent. And being a delinquent gets into the city's recorder's records, which is the highest form of evidence, and eventually gets passed up to all the courts. All taxes paid on or before the 31st of July, before the 30th day of the following, receipt by him, city rolls, okay. There's no additional charge you pay on time. Charge shall be a charge and shall be a lien against the real property. Okay, so there's more charges. We got all these little charges. Any person owning an undivided share of any part of a parcel of real property assessed in one description may pay on the share or part thus owned by paying an amount having the same relation to the whole tax as the value of part which the payment made value the whole parcel. Well, you own the whole parcel, so you can pay it all. Tax roll to the county treasurer. If the city treasurer has been unable to collect any of the city taxes on said roll on real property before the first day of March following the date then said roll was received by him, then it shall be his duty to return all such unpaid taxes on real property. So he's going to return taxes unpaid on real property to the county treasurer in the same manner, and in effect it returns by township treasurers of townships. So if he's been unable to collect on any of the city taxes, then return all such unpaid taxes on real property, what should have been paid to you, to the county treasurer in the same manner. Okay, so you didn't pay your city taxes, you're not going to get these other taxes. I think that's what they're saying. Tax has got many definitions, and they like to switch positions. This is all just a lot of wordplay. Such return shall be made upon delinquent tax roll. Oh, there's a delinquent tax roll. The treasurer shall make in duplicate and shall include all additional charges and fees thereon and provide with charges and secure such return to be added to the amount assessed in the assessment roll against each description. Okay, he'll maintain a duplicate copy upon which he shall record subsequent collections. Okay, so it needs to go in at one point, and then he has another copy that he's going to add to. Looks like over, the next year. The tax upon lands so returned to the county treasurer as delinquent shall be and remain a lien thereon until paid. There's another lien. All right, so we got to pay the tax. And they can have a tax sale. City can conduct its own tax sale for the sale of real property, which the taxes are and assessments which become due and payable after the pass such ordinance are not paid. The treasurer shall prepare and file in the circuit court of the county of Alpena in chancery a petition which shall state therein by apt reference to list or schedules annexed thereto a description of all lands upon which city taxes, special assessments, and other charges have remained a lien and unpaid for 1 year or more prior to such first day of March. And including a charge against each parcel of land of $1 for expenses to reimburse the city for cost of preparation, publication, list, delinquent lands for sale, and so forth and so on. All right, so looks like we owe them $1. Such position shall be in substantial record book and list the lands and taxes annexed following the same therein. All right, so there's another record book that the assessor has. Court decree. The sale of said lands for city taxes, special assessments, charges shall be decreed to take place and shall take place beginning at 10 a.m. first Monday of October. Require petition the city court following the filing of the petition, Alpena, and shall continue beginning on the same hour on each successive day. This must be where they sell your land so that somebody can come in and try to claim your property, I guess. All such sales shall be made by the treasurer and shall take place in the city hall or in such other places may be designated. Tax sale procedure. In regard to taxes, state, county purposes, the powers and duties of township treasurer, again, townships involved, counties involved, auditor general, under the general tax laws, shall be vested in an exercised by the treasurer. The powers and duties of the prosecuting attorney and attorney general shall be vested in exercised by the city attorney. Okay, so when it comes to this, the city attorney has the same power as the attorney general. The powers and duties of county clerks under the general tax law shall be vested in and exercised by the clerk. There's that clerk again. So when it comes to paying your taxes, the people at the city have the same power as the people in the state. So, okay, pay the costs, expenses incurred and to be incurred by a school board in conducting the public schools of the city. Well, I don't think we have any city public schools. Right? They're part of a school district, but if it's not called the school district of the city of Alpena, then it doesn't exist. Because that's the only one that was adopted, the provision of the chapter Okay, here we go. Here's some remedy. Certificate showing liens. It shall be the duty of the treasurer, upon request made by any party, to issue his certificate showing all unpaid taxes, special assessments, and other charges which are lien upon any specified property against your all capital letter name, and which are payable at his office. He may, upon being authorized by the council, charge the party requesting the same such fee as the council shall establish, which fee shall be paid into the city treasury and credited to the general fund. The issuance of such certificate shall not create a liability upon the part of the city or the treasurer, except in the event of fraud in the issuance. Therefore, the person actually issuing the same shall be liable for. Okay, so you take him in your certificate of live birth. I'm the owner. Do I owe you? Do I owe you any taxes? Because I've been told I'm domiciled in this city, and I didn't realize that. I live out in the township. But since my mail comes here, I must have chosen it as my domicile. I guess what we need to do, I got to talk to Bob in Massachusetts, find out who he talked to at the Secretary of State, and try the same thing to find out where my domicile is. Because they could say that mine is the township, and it isn't actually the city. But I'm going to say it's the city of Rockford because that's what I have on my mail. I got a mailing address, which is the road and road number and name. And then it's Rockford, Michigan, 49341. It seems to me that would be my domicile. If it isn't there, then it is the township. But I need to go ask for these particular piece of paper. You know, this is important right here. Pay attention to the green. Go there and ask them for the certificate from the treasurer showing what your taxes are. That'll freak them out. The council is authorized and empowered to issue refunding bonds on credit of the city for purposes of taking up, retiring any outstanding city bonds when the object of purpose of such actions relief the taxpayers or resulting economy to the municipality. So they can issue whatever a refunding bond is. Well, I don't know. This is all special assessment stuff. So such special assessment bonds may be secured by faith and credit of the special assessment district, which they apply, and may be both an obligation of such assessment district or districts and a general obligation of the city. Said bonds shall not be sold or otherwise disposed of by the city at less than their face or par values. Any collection of such special assessment roll, combination rolls, so part, okay, yada, yada, yada. I want to point out, this is all shit being done in common law. And in common law, a mortgage can't last more than, I think it's 7 years, right? I think it's 7 years. Somebody said the Bible said 7. I think they use 5 in the banking laws. I'm going to go with that, right? Mortgage can't last more than 5 years or a lien. Then the debt must be forgiven. So, you know, every 7 years is the Jubilee year. So the most you can actually owe is the last 7-year period of something that's probably just a few dollars. Crazy stuff. Record of bonds. All bonds and other evidence of indebtedness issued by the city shall be signed by the mayor and countersigned by the city treasurer under the seal of the city. Interest coupons may be executed with the facsimile signature of the city treasury. A complete and detailed record of all bonds and other evidence of indebtedness issued by the city shall be kept by the city clerk. She's got the book. She's got the record of bonds. You want to look at that. And then the council may, if it deems advisable, provide for the registration of any bonds issued by the city. All right, so if they're registered to you, then you're the registered owner. All bonds and evidence of debt which have been paid or which shall have been refunded shall be properly canceled. Yeah, we want to get our refunds back. Special assessments by petition of interested property owners address the council and file with the clerk. I don't know. We're getting into stuff here that's a little bit farther than I think we need to go. According to the last assessment roll of the city, registered deeds of the county of Alpena, and the records of the Register of Deeds of the County of Alpena. Okay, now that's the upper lowercase Register of Deeds, not the uppercase Register of Deeds that you walk into. Because that office just says Register of Deeds. And this specifically says Register of Deeds of the County of Alpena. I'm not sure if that's what her seal is going to say when you go to her in that office, but I bet it does. Okay. All special assessments except such installments thereof as council makes payable at future time as provided in this chapter shall be due and payable upon confirmation of special assessment roll. We got another roll. Land the same may be a lien, may elect to pay the same and unpaid balance thereof in one lump sum, and no interest shall be required to be paid on such balance. All right, so we need to see what the special assessment roll is. Special assessments and all interest and charges thereon from date of confirmation of the roll shall and remain a lien upon the property assessed of the same character and effect as a lien created by general law, state and county taxes. So, they can get you with this one too, special assessments. Additional assessments and refunds. All right. So, I imagine if I read this closer, it would tell me where to go and make this complaint to go ask these questions. But so far, they've all really just led to the clerk. Okay, so that's pretty much all that's in this thing. And I'm going to go read it again, but I wanted to get this out because I know a lot of people are looking into, maybe not, franchises. No franchise or grant, which is not evidenced at, which is not revocable at the will of the council shall be granted or become operative until the same shall have been referred to the people at a regular. Okay, so they're saying special ones for franchises that aren't revocable have to be agreed by the electors. So all irrevocable franchises, renewals, extensions, and amendments thereof shall be granted only by ordinance. So if you need to go to the ordinance book and see if they've given a franchise to Consumers Energy or whatever your utility company is to jack you up for the prices they are. No such ordinance shall be adopted before 30 days after application thereof have been filed with the council. Right? So they may have had one at one time. Did they ever go and renew it? If they haven't and they're charging you in your city, well, they're breaking the law. But it would be good to read their franchise if nothing else, because you can hold them to the franchise. Okay, so licenses and franchises remain in effect. And one of those offices we saw earlier is where these franchises are kept at. And I think it was coming out of the city attorney's office. I think that's where it was. So, again, if somebody wants to do business with you in your city and they're not from your city, they have to go get a franchise first. If they don't get a franchise, they can't do business with you, which means they can't sue you. That's doing business. Because it's all just business. Okay, well, they got a hospital commission. Such board shall have control and management of trust and bequest to or for benefit of the city's hospitals unless otherwise provided, and instruments creating such trust or making such requests shall administer such trust and requests and provided in its character for the administration of the trust. Well, there you go. Trust and gifts to the benefit of the city's hospital. So since this is where this contract was first set up, that you were made a grantor to as an infant, what's the guess that if you never appeared that you would leave it with the hospital? So they're just administering your trust through the hospital. I got to read that some more, but okay, I'm going to say that's good. you can find these just by going to whatever city you're in and, looking for their charter. Go to their website, see if it's on there, or put in your city name, state, and the word charter in Google and see if it shows up. Or go down and ask them for a copy, because they're supposed to have one. And you find out all sorts of interesting things. And later on with this week, we'll let you know what we did with it. Okay, that's plenty. See you guys. Great talking to you.